Okay, I'll call the regular meeting of Handle Council to order for March 19th, 2025 at 7 p.m. Can I get a motion to approve the agenda and the additions, please?
I, Councillor Heislip, move to approve the agenda with the additional item 8C, new business land for public purposes, Tranquil Valley Estate subdivision.
Second by?
By Councillor Bugle, second.
Any questions, comments? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Contrary minded? Motion carried, thank you. Item 3, consent section. Can I get a motion, please?
I, Councillor Mackenzie, move to adopt the consent section with the removal of the Upper Kingsclear Fire Department report to be moved to business arising 7A.
Can I get a seconder?
I, Councillor Holt, will second.
Any questions, comments? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Contrary minded? Motion carried, thank you. Any disclosures, council? No, moving on to item 5, public input or inquiries. I don't see anybody, I'm not aware of anybody. Item 6, presentations, petitions, or delegations. We're clear on that also. Item 7, business arising from consent section. We have the Upper Kingsclear Fire Department, and we have Chief Krause here to present to us.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Step right up to the use your imagination podium.
Okay, up to the podium right there. I can adjust this a little better. Everyone get a coffee?
Yes.
Okay, so I get 14 calls in February. Of course, the motor vehicle crashes are
Yeah.
still leading the pack. But hopefully, he's all uphill from here on. But you never know. Any questions in any of the calls?
Well, you're getting off easy tonight.
I am. We did go down last week and picked up the 350, F-350. It's replacing the old 4x4. And working on it now, getting the lighting and radios and stuff all changed over. So, once it's all deckled up, we'll bring it down and show you.
Gotta get her nice and fancy first.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, gotta get her all built up first. Exactly.
Yeah.
But
Okay.
It'll be a good asset, I hope. Gotta get her ready for the spring, you never know.
Yeah.
Well, the old one was, well, has worn out, so it's time.
Yeah, body wise and stuff.
All right, any questions for the chief on that? No? We're all good? Well, thank you, Chief Krause.
No problem.
You can stay if you like. If you've got nothing better to do tonight, you can stay and watch our council meeting.
Oh, that's fine, I got people waiting for me stationed in.
I figured you would have. Thanks, Chief.
I, Councillor Mackenzie, move to receive the fire department report for March.
Seconder?
I, Councillor Holt, will second.
Questions, comments? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Contrary minded? Motion carried, thank you. All right, item 7B, Yoho Park Lane Clearing. Our CAO gives us an update.
So we have cleared the property, and now we will move on to looking at playground equipment and our outside pavilion. I do have some quotes, so we'll discuss that in closed session, and then we can decide where we want to go from there.
Okay, item 8, new business, rescinding of policy 2018-01, dog leash policy. I need a motion, please.
I, Councillor Holt, move to rescind policy number 2018-01, dog leash policy.
Seconder?
I, Councillor Nicoledo, second.
All right, council, any questions, comments? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Contrary minded? Motion carried. Item B, dog leash policy. I need a motion to adopt the new policy.
We should also read it
That's
and explain why we're putting this in place. So we've had so many incidents recently with people not keeping, having control of their dogs while in the park. being in areas that are supposed to be on leash and they're not. So unfortunately, we're going to have to change our policy, and the park and all of Hanwell property and public areas will have to be, have dogs on leash. So we may revisit it again in the future, but unfortunately, it just takes sometimes to ruin it for everybody else, so.
I, Councilor McKenzie, move to adopt policy 2025-01 dog leash policy. I'll read it if that's approved.
I, Councilor Dooley, second.
Okay, any questions, comments? All those in favor signify by saying
No, he's
aye.
gonna read,
I'll read it.
he'll read the
I made
policy,
motions, so
then we could discuss it after he reads the policy.
if the motion's defeated, there's no point in reading it. You vote first, then it's
Yeah.
read.
Oh, okay.
It was on the motion, yeah, there was no
All right.
question, so we're just
Yeah,
gonna,
fair
just
enough.
wanna read it, Councillor McKenzie?
If, after
After
we vote.
After the.
Yes, sorry. Okay, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Contrary minded?
Nay.
Nay. Motion carried. Thank you.
Okay,
Mr. Clerk, up to-
policy 2025-01
Monday.
dog leash policy objective, to provide a policy regarding dogs on and off leash within the boundaries of the rural community of Hanwell. Policy statement, the council of the rural community of Hanwell directs the operations of the municipality through its approved programs and policies. The purpose of this policy is to establish guidelines that provide for the control of dogs within the boundaries of the rural community of Hanwell and for all public spaces and any municipally owned property. The rural community of Hanwell recognizes the social benefits of dogs and their owners having access to parks and trail systems. However, consideration must be given to balancing the needs, interests, and safety of the whole community. All dogs must be kept on a leash and under full control in public spaces and on municipal property. This includes all trails, parks, playgrounds, and streets pursuant to bylaw 35-2024, a bylaw respecting animal control. The owner or the person in charge of the dogs is legally responsible for their dogs and any injuries or damage caused by the dogs. Adopted by council on March 19th, 2025.
Okay, moving on. I'm going to go after CAO. We had a correspondence there from Mr. Taddy Bell on 3150 Route 640 on the Tranquil Valley Estate subdivision. So we got a letter, and then we have a motion we'll take on item C. But I'll ask Terry to read the letter first.
Okay, Council, so, the developer of Tranquil Valley Estate subdivision came in today. I asked him if he would like to present to council, and he asked if I would just read the letter instead. So he says, "Dear Mayor and Council, I would like to counter-offer the motion you did, number 07-10-2024, for the rural community of Hanwell to request up to 8% of the value of the property for each proposed lot, which totals $3,832.01. For a small developer, this creates much distress on our future property owners, as we have to pass along these costs onto them. It is beneficial that we continue to grow as a community, and we are hindering future development. I would like to propose that either the motion be rescinded or ask that we could work a deal that we pay the municipality a smaller amount of $1,000 to $3,000 per lot. We also have another subdivision that is going to have 12 lots in total, which will bring in additional tax revenue to the community. It is imperative that we all work together for the future of our community. I look forward to working with council to come to a solution. Sincerely, Taddy Bell."
Okay, and there's a section under C where we'll accept the letter from the developer of Tranquil Valley Estates. We'll do that
After.
After? Okay.
Yeah, so council, I've given you kind of two options to discuss. Either we could rescind the motion if you decide that you don't want them to pay anything. Or you can provide an amount, like he's offering to pay $1,000 to $3,000 per lot. So if you wanted to do that, then you can, but whatever one you choose, afterwards, we just need to either accept or receive, his letter, his correspondence letter, okay?
Just a quick question, how many lots is this being subdivided?
So this one, here is only the one, lot, and then he's gonna have another subdivision, that's going to have 12. So the motion was for that one lot, was what the 3,800 was when, we did that motion. So if you wanted for the other subdivisions afterwards to come back and we go through the process again, then that's fine too, but this one here we're talking. And the reason we're kind of in a time crunch with this, the property has a closing date for next month. So he would just kind of like an answer one way or the other, because either he's gonna have to come in and pay this money so that he can sell it, or it's going to come in and pay at a lesser amount or no amount at all, whatever you choose.
Question.
What I'll do is I'll just go around the table. I'll start with Jared.
Well, we really
Councillor Dooley
should,
first.
Just make a motion first. and
we should
discuss.
make a motion before
But
we
which motion are we
kind
gonna make? There's two motions.
Can we
gotta pick
motion
one.
to suspend the rules until,
until.
Could do
yeah.
that too.
okay,
Yeah.
I, Councillor Heisler, motion to suspend the rules.
Seconded by,
I will second that motion. Councillor Holt.
any questions, comments? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Okay, motion carried. The rules are now suspended, so I'm gonna start with Councillor Dooley, and we'll just go around the table for comments.
Interested in these future 12 lots, so if you're saying it's for one lot at this point, is there a future 12 that are apart and associated to the current development, or is this a subsequent? I guess, is he closing out a development, and is this the final lot, and then he's entering into another 12?
Correct. Yes.
They're both Tranquil Valley Estates, so I'm assuming it's the first lot that was out of there.
First part of the development and the continuation.
Yeah, this is, I believe he said it was the final one on Bernadette, and then he's got a whole new one that he's put in a road and stuff.
At one time, like 12 at one time?
Yeah, like he's doing a new subdivision later or whatever, but this one was just for this one property. I believe it was on Bernadette.
Has he given you a time frame as to when the next 12 are going?
I thought Bernadette was a public street. Now, maybe I'm wrong. I thought it was.
It is.
Yeah. So it shouldn't, if it's on a public street, it shouldn't be going for land for public purposes anyway.
I thought he said it was.
I don't know. I'm not familiar with which lot it is. I really don't know.
This was one we did back on
This
the
is the one
Yeah, I
in
know.
October.
Yeah.
October 7th, 2024.
I'd have to see the map, but
Yeah, well, we passed the 8%. He didn't have any land, there was no land suitable for public purposes, so we asked for 8% instead.
Yes.
So this is a motion that's already duly put to council and passed and approved,
Was
voted
this the
on.
one where he actually had a listing of various?
No, so that was the same night. You guys said no to the one in Yoho, and you also said no to the Anderson
that's the one.
subdivision, and then you said yes to him. And council, on the back of your letter, I had photocopied the motions that you guys did that night, just so that you have them as a review. And I apologize for not getting this out to you, and if you want to look into this more, we can certainly table this and have it on the special meeting of council next Tuesday, and then I can find out any additional information that you might want.
If I recall, the one in Yoho is because it's already been subdivided, so we decided we're following the same pattern with it. The one at Anderson, I believe that one had nothing with it because I was looking for land instead of money, and that got voted down. And then they proceeded, the next thing was to proceed for whatever reason with a 0 instead of the money. I don't remember why there would have been different between the two of these things with that, but from what I recall, that was the night of that, right? That was the night?
That was the same night.
Yeah, that I was looking for
Okay.
land with it. Because in this case, that in the future, if there's 12 lots being put, that seems like that would fit in line with what we had been doing since 2014, where you're making a subdivision with multiple lots. One of them should be allocated, 8% of it should be allocated for land to make a park in some future. Especially if it's up by Bernadette, because there's nothing around that area right now. That would be just for future thoughts, for when this comes in the future for the 12 lot one.
Right.
As for right now, I'm not really sure where to go with it at this point, but definitely that's for the future consideration.
Do you want to table it and I can speak with the developer and get additional information and bring it back to you on Tuesday, and we can put it on the agenda on Tuesday? That still leaves them time for their sale or whatever for the property.
Yeah, I think that might be a good idea. Oh, go ahead, Councillor Fox.
Yeah, so I would like to see that, and I'd also like to see all of the, like, what was originally presented to us, because I cannot remember this.
I think where this was the late addition to the agenda, so our memory's not as good as they used to be. So I think give the council a little more time to review it and give the time it deserves to make a proper decision that everybody's well informed.
Okay, so does
Council good with
somebody
that
want
idea?
to make a motion to
Well,
table it?
There's no motion on the floor, so you don't have to technically table, we can bring it in the next future agenda.
Yeah, because we only voted to suspend the rules, we didn't
We didn't
make
make
a
a
motion.
motion, yeah.
So I'm gonna have to do it on
Is that council's wishes to table this till our special meeting coming up?
Yeah, if we get more information.
Everybody's good with that?
I am.
Yes.
I don't hear any complaints, so we'll move that along then until our next special meeting. Okay, item 9, proclamations. We don't have any upcoming activities. We have Spring Craft Show 2025 at Hanwell Place, March the 29th from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. Second annual Spring Things Craft Market, April 5th from 10 to 3. Easter Extravaganza, Hanwell Place, April 12th, 2 p.m. to 4 p.m. Fire Smart NBEMO Public Meeting, Hanwell Place, April 24th, 7 to 9 p.m. And Mystical Market and Psychic Fair, Hanwell Place, April 26th from 4 p.m. to 8 p.m. So now we need a motion to go into closed session, please.
I, Councillor Highslip, move to go into closed session.
Seconder,
I Councillor DeCleva, second.
questions, comments? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion. Anybody against? Motion carried. Thank you, council. We are now in closed session. Motion to come out of closed session, please.
I, Councillor Holt, move to come out of closed session and go back into open session.
Seconder,
I, Councillor Fox, second.
question? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Contrary minded? Motion carried. We are now out of closed session and back into open session.
Okay, I, Councillor McKenzie, move to award the website development, web hosting, and maintenance contract to Outreach Productions for the development price of $7,920 plus HST for a total of $9,108, and the maintenance package in the amount of $250 per month per year plus HST for a total price of $287 per month per year.
$287.50.
50.
Seconder,
I, Councillor Highslip, second.
questions, comments, discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Contrary minded? Motion carried. Thank you. Second motion.
I, Councillor Fox, move to approve the cost for additional clearing of the land for our park at Yoho to be 67 meters by 16.5 meters for a cost of $11,855 plus HST payable to Matt Harris and Sons Limited.
Sorry, it's $11,885.
11, what?
11,885.
For a cost of $11,885 plus HST payable to Matt Harris and Sons Limited.
He was gonna be real happy.
Seconder,
I, Councillor Highslip, second.
questions, comments? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Contrary minded? Motion carried. Thank you, council. Motion to adjourn, please.
I will be adjourned.
Meeting adjourned at
8:52.
8:52.